What up? This is Beyond the Road podcast with Kwame and your boy Lonzo. What up, man? We back in this, man.
What up, bro? How you doing? What's cooking?
Doing great, man. It's Monday. Getting ready to go train a little later. Excited
Yes,
about that. Yeah, man. So what are we talking about today, man?
Man, I think we should talk about kind of the stuff that we didn't know before we started training. I feel like there's lots of things that I kind of messed up on, and I kind of want to chop it up with you and get your thoughts as well. Like before I started jujitsu, I was like really nervous, bro. I didn't know what to expect. You hear all these guys talking about jujitsu's changed their life and how it's influenced them to be a better person. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hop in. I'm gonna do the thing. But I didn't know anything. I didn't know about etiquette. I didn't know about what to do. Should I bow? Should I wait for the professor to let me in? Kind of like the martial arts aspect to it, where it's like about respect, humility, and just like honor. And I was just really confused on how I should behave once I step on the mat. And after training for a little bit, I was starting to really see like the the respect and the code that comes with training jujitsu. And it really made me like realize like, man, this is pretty cool, dude. I like the martial arts aspect too. I feel like it's not talked about enough in jujitsu. Like it's cool with all the competitions and all the moves and stuff, but like it's honestly like there's something I really can't explain about jujitsu, and kind of like um the things that I wish I would have knew in the beginning. So like tapping early, stuff like that. There's places where I was like caught in submissions and I didn't know what to do, especially if someone grabs like your shoulder to get you an Americana, or how long you should wait before you tap. I really didn't hear about it too often, so I was just kind of want to get what you thought about the like tapping early, stuff like that, just because I feel like it's tough to know when to tap and when is it too late.
Yeah, I think when I first started, I didn't know about tapping early as well.
Mhm.
Literally, I just remembered doing some rolls after class and dude just getting me into like arm bars and like, Kimura, and I would be trying to like roll out of them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would get out, but then like after my shoulder would be sore for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, damn, what the hell? And then I think there was one point where both of my shoulders were sore. And I wasn't like, honestly, I was not picking that up.
Mhm.
And I started to like, talk to other guys in the class and just like, hey man, the upper belts, hey, my shoulders are hurting. Like, what the hell? And they're like,
Yeah.
oh man, maybe if they got it, you need to just tap. If you're already in that position, you need to just tap. And I was like, damn, I'm probably right. And I remember we did an open mat last year, and
Yeah.
this guy, some guy came from some other gym, whatever, had an arm bar on me, but I had it like locked, with my arms like that, and he
Mhm.
literally had his foot like on my bicep, just trying to pry it, and I like
Right.
was holding on, dude, my forever. For whatever reason, I was like, I don't want this guy to tap me from another gym,
Right. Right.
idiot, dude. My bicep was sore for at least 2 weeks, like bad. Like I was like,
Mhm.
God damn it. And this was like during the holidays too, I believe. And I was like, great, I'm on fucking sore bicep for Christmas and whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, then you start to listen to more podcasts and videos like tap early, tap early. It's hard to, you tell yourself that, but sometimes, your ego, and sometimes you're like, I want to see how long I can last. I think
Right.
if you don't know how to correctly get out of something and you're new, not even worth it. If they already get your arm tight and you feel them start to just tap, like, you know what I mean? And before tournaments, if I'm training for a tournament now, that I've already been doing it for a while, like a year, and sometimes I'll hold on like longer and be like, oh, let me see if I can get out of this. Let me see if I can get out of this. But there's consequences to this, If you're trying to hold on to a triangle longer than expected, you might have some like neck pain there. If you're trying to hold on to that arm bar a little longer, you're gonna have a little, but you gotta have like a little, you gotta see how long you can last. But in the early days, if you're just drilling, not even preparing for a comp, fucking just happen, and who cares, dude? I feel like
Right.
that
Because it.
helps
Yeah.
helps the partner too, right? I
For sure.
mean, You guys helping each other out. But yeah, man. What about you? Like, when did you first like? Oh, damn! I should probably tap early. Like,
As soon as someone grabbed my leg, I was like, bro, I don't know where this
hmm,
guy, because I didn't know anything about leg locks, knee bars, anything like that. So as soon as someone grabbed like my leg, grabbed my ankle, I just tapped right away just because I didn't know what's going on. I feel like that's good just because um, if you don't know where the move could potentially go, you don't know how it could end. There's a lot of people. I think Dima, one of the B team coaches, he like tore his ACL and in his knee because he got put in an electric chair, and an electric
mm,
chair is like a position, like it's like popular with the 10 planet schools, and his knee pretty much exploded, bro, and he was out of competition. That's why he doesn't even compete anymore, and that's why he's a coach. And it's like you have to be aware of kind of the moves that you could kind of, or the positions that you could potentially be in, because some are riskier than others. Like having a rear naked choke or a triangle is different from like a knee bar or a straight ankle lock, because, or even like a heel hook, because the heel hook's like applied to your knee and you don't even really feel it until something's wrong with your knee. So it's like there's no pain associated because there's a ligament there. You know, a lot of
mm,
the stuff is like a bone, or it's like your arteries getting closed off. But those ligament stuff it's pretty dangerous. There's a lot of potential risks there. So I think even the guy who injured Dima, he got injured with the same position, this electric
mm,
chair. I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's like you're pretty compromised in that position. And if you don't see kind of the potential risk when it comes to, like, if you're in a bad spot, I think tapping early might be a good move. And then you could work your way out of it. The Rotolo brothers had the same issue once they first started doing ADCC, I believe. Like they were working on leg lock defenses, and because they were getting caught, and they had some things that they had to work on, and they trained how to get out of those positions themselves. And I feel like that's like it's good for other people to know, just because no one wants to get injured. You don't want to injure nobody. So it's like you want to make sure everybody's safe, especially your training partners. For competition, I think it's good to have an array of like different type of escapes and different variations. But it's important just to know what's going on, because if you don't, you're not going to know until it's too late.
yeah. And I want to talk about like at what point are you letting go of a submission? Are you letting go of a submission? Like somebody that doesn't want to tap. I think I saw something on B team where I
Oh
don't really
yeah,
remember, they had someone's ankle or something
yeah.
popped, and then you just hear like, I don't know if that was Nicky Ryan in the
It was
background
Nicky
saying,
Ryan. Yeah,
"Just break it,
just
just break it." What do you say? I don't know.
I
And then it
think
just
Nicky Ryan
popped.
was the one telling him to just tap. I think, or
He said
somebody was.
tap? Okay.
Yeah, he said just
Okay.
tap, and then he ended up something ended up popping, and it's
Yeah,
like
it was bad.
there's got to be some point where you just got to know. It's like, hey man, I'm screwed here. Just tap and restart. I mean, for
So
competition, I understand.
but like, say you got an arm bar fully locked on a guy
Hmm.
and you're bending it and you see that elbow hyperextending and that guy isn't tapping. Like, what are you gonna do? Like a new
Well,
guy,
if a
what do
new
you do?
guy's just training, I feel like you just flow into the next position.
Just let
I
it
think you
go,
just,
or
yeah, you just you chain the submissions. Like if he's not tapping, uh, I think kind of like in UFC 5, like you can't even get in the video game, you can't even get a submission right off the first rip. You have to get the guy tired. You have to chain submissions like until like the third or fourth attempt, then you could
hmm,
finally get it. So I think of it as like, man, like if he's not tapping, I'm not gonna break this dude's arm, or at least try to. Just go to the next one. Just keep on going. Just like you could envision it in your mind that you finished it, and then just go on to another thing. That's personally what I would do, is because if someone's fine for their life with a submission and it's not worth injuring them, I think it's just good to just keep on rolling. I would want someone to do that to me if I was just
yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. So are you gonna tell that guy something like, "Hey, man, maybe you should just tap," or is that like disrespectful? Or I don't know.
I think maybe if like the professor's watching, maybe they could tell him like, "Hey man, just take care of your training partners, just tap." But pride and ego is a real thing, and sometimes even myself, bro, I get myself in these positions where I'm like, I could get out of this, I could get out of
Mhm.
this, and then it's like, nah, you can't, and it's like,
Nah.
damn. So it's like you could try, and but sometimes it's just it's too much.
I think some injuries will hopefully not, bad injuries, but I feel
Mhm.
like those people, like if their elbow is sore for like 2 weeks and they're like, oh shit, I think usually the smart ones will pick it up and be like, yeah, I probably should have tapped. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
So hopefully they learn with that. But, having a good training partner is definitely good that, needed, man. It's like, hey, man, you need a tap or, you shouldn't be getting put to sleep either, right? They said that that's not good for you. So if you're
No,
not
it's not.
tapping, knocking out, coming back, like, I don't think that's good for you, man. So, but yeah, man, what other, you were talking about hygiene, which,
Yes.
yeah, I rolled with a lot of people through the years, and you've seen it. You've seen the yellow geese,
Yeah.
some geese that smell a little funky. And you're like, what the fuck is that smell? And it fucking, I feel like it stays in your nose all day. I think Joey B
It's
had
a
said that.
crazy smell. I've
You
never
can like,
smelled anything like that, bro.
what is that, bro? It's like a wet rag that was left outside in a fucking bucket or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy ass smell. I guess you get used to it. It's kind of weird. Like you're like,
Yeah.
there's that fucking stinky guy again, that stinky gi. And it's
Now
like
wash your gi, bro.
you got to know how to wash your gi. I have a whole system, bro. Like
Yeah.
I use OxyClean, this powder, and I just
Mhm.
pour that in there. And sometimes I'll let it soak for like half an hour, and then I put some scent boosters in there. Yeah, man, I just fucking wash it. I've been hang
Nice.
dragging my gi. I don't know.
Same.
But definitely gotta wash it after, like, cause
Oh yeah,
if
right
you leave
after,
it
bro.
balled up in your trunk for like 2 days, I
Oh
think
no, bro.
that's when it'll be like yellow, and that's how it's
It's
gross.
worse
And
than a pair of shoes, bro. It's like as soon
yeah,
as you, especially a hard training session, this thing's freaking soaked. You
yeah,
gotta
it's
put that
heavy.
thing away straight to the washer, and then you get some. I have like some Febreze spray. I'll be spraying that thing, make sure
Nice.
everything's because, man, there's nothing worse than getting some shoulder pressure from a dude that can he
Just like
stinks, man. I
fucking
remember
tap.
one of our professors talked about how he did a competition, he did a tournament, and this guy had the stinkiest gi ever, like the craziest smelling gi. I don't think he's ever washed it, and he said he couldn't get the smell out of his mind for days. Like it was still there, and
Insane.
I can't even imagine that, dude. I know there's like some people who just don't even wash their gi. It's like, come on, dude, like
Yeah,
wash your
wash
gi.
that damn gi. Yeah, man. And there used to be it was a problem at like when I was training back in the day, 2019. There's a lot of people
Mm,
there and like a lot of new people, and they weren't washing their gis. And then
mm,
also they would come after work, and they're obviously like mechanics or something. Their hands and nails would
mm.
just be dirty, dude, and they were just dirty ass people. And they're like, nah, man, y'all motherfuckers need to take a shower before you get out here. You're gonna get, you can get people fucking all kind of shit,
Yeah,
MRSA, fucking all kind of infections. And
yeah,
so
bro. Clip
that's
your
cool that
nails, take a shower before you go to
yeah,
training. Make sure, just take care of other people, bro.
I think clipping the nails is big too, because I remember in the beginning when everybody was new,
Hmm.
I was getting fucking I knew about cutting my nails, but dude, my fucking my legs, they would be all scratched up. I had some big ass gashes. Like I have scars on my feet from people
Really?
not cutting their nails. Yeah.
Holy
And I would be
sh!
bleeding. And I told the professor, I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, I'll announce it. And I was just like,
Mhm.
yeah, some of these guys fucking daggers, bro, just fucking me up. But yeah, and also if you don't trim your toenails, they can get caught in the mat, and then like part of it'll break
I
off.
actually had that happen before, where I was like,
Yeah.
the nail almost came off my
Oh,
toe, bro. So I'm like, bro, you gotta make sure everything's clipped up, just because like anything, because you never know what. Sometimes you're
snag.
standing, you fall down, something gets snagged. Um, yeah, just
Yeah.
stuff like that could potentially, be harmful to yourself and other people and yourself.
Yeah, man. So hygiene.
Like hygiene, take a shower, clip your nails, kind of the stuff that it's like common knowledge. Wear deodorant, that stuff too. Make sure you're nice and clean, and then afterwards, you know, take care of yourself because if your gym doesn't have a shower, you got to get straight to the showers. Lots of things, especially doing no gi,
Ooh, yeah.
staph infections,
Staph,
ringworm, um,
all that shit.
that stuff's scary, bro. And it's like you don't think it's gonna happen to you until it does. So make sure you're preventing all of it, taking care of yourself and other people, because no one wants to take time off because someone didn't take a shower or clean themselves.
Dude, also like can't have hair product in your hair, because when you sweat, like imagine you have all this
Mm,
gel and shit in your hair or
yeah,
whatever grease, fucking.
start slipping around.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I would say another thing as a white belt is just kind of just showing respect, especially to like upper belts or people that have been there.
Yeah,
Just when you get there, just kind of common courtesy, greet everyone, kind of greet everyone or greet people around you within your area. Be like, hey, how's it going? What's up? I feel like that's kind of cool too, and it lets people know that you're not like just some random weirdo, or just you're not just there to fuck people up. Like, oh, okay,
right.
like hey, good morning. Oh yeah, how's it going? Oh yeah, fucking drop off my kids and da da da, my wife, my girlfriend, like just like little comment, little chatter. It kind of lets me know, like, oh, all right, this is a normal guy. He's not just living in some, you know, studio apartment that's fucking just wants to come out and just rage and
This
some
American
guy that
Psycho, dude.
yeah, just like some LSD Wolverine guy, with sideburns and just wants to fuck. Who knows who this guy is? He's living under the freeway. So it's like that little,
Yeah,
common,
just common
shows
courtesy.
common courtesy, like, hey man, we're fucking teammates. We're not best friends or anything yet, but hey, we're teammates. I'm not gonna hurt you, kind of thing. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
cool. It lets me know because sometimes they come in with that blank stare and they're just like that, and I'm just like, oh fuck, what is this guy thinking? Because like they say, some people are really picky on who they train with, dude. Like I know some upper belts I've seen online and Reddit, they're like, I will not train with the new white belt. I will not
mm.
train with like they refuse. I'm like, I never refused to train with anybody, but there's been times where I'm like, I don't really want to train with this guy. I don't know him. Like, so that's a trip too, man. What do you?
I mean,
Yeah,
that
yeah. What do
makes
you think?
sense. Like what we were talking about earlier with injuries, like if someone's just being really aggressive. I don't know if you ever seen. I think Bradley Martin roll with this like he was a brown belt at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but bro, you get someone like super strong, like someone like Bradley Martin. They're
260.
260, yeah, 260. They could be dangerous. They could hurt you, even though they're
Oh
not
yeah.
trained. They don't know what an armbar is. They could freaking tackle you and hurt you. And if they weigh a lot, there's more potential risk. So I understand, especially with upper belts. They've been training for so long. They want to work on certain things. So it's like it makes sense that they pick out their training partners wisely because um, if you don't do that, there's more risks involved, and you want to make sure everybody's staying healthy. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. And then that's me too, man. I mean, if I'm whatever, I'm 210, 212.
Mhm.
I'm going against a guy that's like 140. I'm not gonna fucking just smash on them and just use them.
Right,
I'm gonna try to match their
right.
strength, and you know what I mean. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
fucking just, especially if they're new. I'm not gonna just crush them, and
Even someone who's
you know,
younger, it's like
someone's younger, yeah. So it's like,
so
you know, I ain't trying to drop a knee on this fool's fucking belly like that, or
mhm.
even though they're like, oh, whoop this guy's ass, especially if they're new, man. I'll test them out a little bit, and if I'm like, damn, this guy can scrap, I'm gonna turn it up on this guy because some people will surprise you. You're like, all right, it's only 160, but then next they're like, they got your back. You're like, all right, time to fucking turn it up and then get out. You know what I mean? It's like you had your chance, but now I got
Yeah,
to put
dude.
it on you.
That
Yeah,
makes sense, dude. Because there's no
yeah,
point. I mean, if you're rolling with someone who's like younger than you or weighs less than you, adapting to the roles is important. Rolling with different people, everybody has a different style, different energy. I know you're talking about it last week when we we're rolling. We're doing like a line drill, and it's like this guy's being this guy, but this guy beats this guy. It's like everybody has
yeah.
their strengths and weaknesses, and it's like
It's crazy.
it's crazy, dude. And we grow together as a team, kind of figure, what works and what doesn't. And it's cool to see that like no one has like everything solid. Everybody has like some holes that they could work on, and the sooner you get them pointed out, the sooner you can start working on them. So I think it's dope. Yeah, you mentioned that too. I was like, it's legit.
Yeah, I was that tripped me out. What was I gonna say? Also, like, you start making friends and you start showing respect to people. Maybe you don't crank an arm bar, you don't sink in a rear naked choke when you have somebody's face and squeeze their jaw. You don't do that.
Hmm.
And you start
Right.
making, connections and homies with like the upper belts, and you start talking to them. These guys are gonna show you shit. They're gonna be like, hey man, this is how I did this Kimura. Like they'll start
Hmm.
giving you keys, man. But if you're just an asshole and
No
just
keys, man.
crossfading people, dropping just doing shady stuff, or leaning all your weight on your forearm on somebody's neck. Like I'm like, cool, put pressure, but I mean, you know what I mean, just like
Yeah,
fully
it's
like 250 pounds, just like fucking just leaning on someone's neck or dropping a knee on someone's neck or head.
definitely
If
doesn't
you
feel
ain't doing
good.
that, yeah, just trying to hurt somebody, you know,
Mhm.
accidentally, punching someone in the face, or you know what I mean, all these dirty little moves. Eventually, you make friends, and they'll start telling you stuff, man, or you can ask them questions, and that's what I've noticed too. And sometimes I'll flow roll with an upper belt and not just be a dick. And then, hey, man, I'm like, how do I get out of this armbar? They'll fucking tell you, man. Like, so that's like, it's crazy though. It's true, man. It's just
It's so
being
humbling,
cool,
dude.
man. Yeah,
It's so
that's
humbling. I remember that one time we went to like a morning class, and I was amped up, dude. I had a bunch of energy.
mhm,
I'm like, okay, today's gonna be the day. I'm out here trying to get out of close guard. I'm like lifting people up, and like
crazy.
I went with the professor, and he basically told me, like, hey man, you gotta dial it back, and he freaking choked me out like crazy, dude. I'm like, he's like basically like a warning to like you know train responsibly, train with like learn the technique. Don't try to muster through this stuff because that stuff. I mean, it was just like instant karma. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Like that's like a lesson learned. It's like some of the things I learned in jujitsu is like that, where it's like
Yeah,
went too far. Gotta dial it back and
hell yeah.
see a different approach.
Yeah,
Because you were there.
I remember you're wildin' fool. Like, I was like, damn, this guy's fucking crazy, dude. Like, we're doing mount, and then I remember I got on top of you, and you're just like, okay, I just flew off, dude. I was like, oh shit, this was crazy. And yeah, the professor was like, yeah, he like paused the whole class, whatever. He's like, hey, you guys out there, relax or whatever. He's telling people to
Yeah.
relax, and then he was telling me too. He's like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, you got to switch your knees, and when you're on mount, whatever way they turn. And he's like, what are you doing? He's like, it's this
Hmm.
easy. And yeah, it's cool when the professors recognize that, and I still
Right.
see that to this day. They'll be like, hey man, they'll tell somebody stop using so much strength, use more technique. And it's true, man. If you can get these sweeps, scissor sweeps and all that with like the least amount of strength, it's the best feeling, dude, when you barely use any strength and they just float, and you're like, wow, I have all this energy now. What do I do with all this energy? It's fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
it's
That's so
crazy.
cool.
It's like riding a damn wave or something. I never surfed, but I feel
Yeah,
like that's what it would feel like. Kind of just like
catching a
I don't
wave,
know.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
like jujitsu, like the technique when they're like, "Oh, do jujitsu." You hear these people yelling out, "Do jujitsu," and
Hmm.
it's like actually applying the technique using your body weight, leverage, weight distribution, all that stuff, because you could feel it. There's a sense in getting like a sweep or having a counter that just that's smooth, and being able to be ready for whatever is like, I don't know, it's an awesome feeling, bro. I think riding the wave is a good analogy with that, but
That was
it's
great.
it's awesome, dude.
And I always think about like some of the best jujitsu guys that aren't so big. Like they're not very muscular. Like I always think about BJ Penn, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's not like the biggest guy, right? I mean, he's not fucking. I haven't. He just seems like he's a normal guy. It doesn't seem like he's super jacked or anything. Like he benches 300 pounds. I could be wrong, but he doesn't seem like he's built like that, right? And then his jujitsu is just fucking insane. He's like one of the best, dog. Like, and also in MMA and stuff like UFC. So I think about that. I'm like, you don't have to, because I was thinking like, damn, I need to be able to bench, 300. I need to be the fucking biggest guy in the room, and stuff changed, bro. Going through the injuries and stuff like that with me, and I'm like, I feel like I have strength, but I'm like, I'm not benching anymore, and this and that. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to like develop better jujitsu to use like leverage and this and that. But then I
Mm-hmm.
look at all the smaller guys that are handling the big guys easily, So
That's
it's a
the
trip,
beauty of
dude.
it, bro. Like you see these guys, Mikey Musumeci, Ryan Hall. I don't know if you've seen some of his fights. It's completely a different style, but super unassuming. Like most of these guys who are freaking assassins don't look the part, dude. They're really smart to calculate it, and that's what jujitsu is able to provide. I feel like that's why it took the UFC by storm as soon as they start up, just because they haven't seen anything like it before. Everybody's used to boxing or kickboxing, and they start seeing these smaller guys defeat these big old buff dudes, and it's like, what's going on? Like, how is this working? And you could kind of feel it. The more you train, the more you pull up, like you start seeing like the little details that make jujitsu. Like realize like, oh, you don't have to use strength here. You just have to know where to apply the pressure. And it's kind of like tipping over a cow sometimes, where you just like, boop, you don't need that much energy and just all falls over. And there's so much detail and that goes to it. It's just like every day is like a new experience, and
Hmm.
it's awesome that to be able to learn something like that, because I didn't know it existed, bro. I didn't know jujitsu was a thing until I did, and I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah. So when I was a white belt, I thought, hey, you know, if you pack on more muscle, everything's gonna be easy for you.
Mm,
But it's really isn't, dude. Muscle uses a lot of oxygen, so it's like your cardio. So it's hard to be fucking 200 plus pounds and have cardio and have the bench, and bench 300 or whatever. So
mm,
it's like I started to realize that I was like, dude, cardio more than anything. For me, it was like because after you do your second round, you're in the third round. Those muscles ain't doing shit, bro. Like
no
those
sir.
muscles are not. It's not even a thing anymore, dude. It's just all. I feel like that's when technique really it shows. That second round, that third round, because I seen you doing some spars with a smaller guy, a lightweight on your last video,
Hmm.
and he kept wanting to go. He's like, let's go again, and you're like, fuck it, let's go, and you're holding your own, but in the beginning you wouldn't be able to do that. Your first year,
Hell no.
that guy would have beat you, man, the second round because he's smaller guy and maybe he runs more. I don't know, but he wasn't carrying a whole lot of muscle. We're
Right.
carrying all this weight and muscle, and it's like, dude, if you're able to translate that, you're able to be 209 with cardio and lean muscle. I feel like those are the best jujitsu guys, the lean muscle, cardio, because I don't see how it'd be possible. Because honestly, and when we started this whole jujitsu thing, I was
Mm,
thinking about being like 240 pounds, fucking benching like 315, just fucking jacked jujitsu guy.
yeah.
I'm like, fuck that. Now I'm like, I want to be like 200 lean, not so worried about the bench. I feel like I want just to be more technique and just strong too, but the cardio, man,
The
like,
cardio is
dude,
insane, dude. It's a whole different
yeah,
thing. Like when I first started, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like I feel like
yeah,
I'm so gassed out. My body's like barely moving. I'm telling myself like, I'll just push through. Got a few more. I'm like looking at the clock. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so gassed out. And there's a lot of things that I realized like, hey man, my cardio is not where it needs to be. Like if something happens, I think about stuff like that when it's like if something were to happen and I need to run or I need to do something, need to help someone. Um, I can't have a cardio. I can't have cardio be an issue. I can't have uh, that endurance be an issue. It's like once I started training and start pushing myself and realizing like it takes time. It takes time to push through. I know both of us played basketball, and it's hard. The basketball gets a lot harder when you're tired, dude. Especially
oh
when you
yeah,
get someone guarding you. They're giving they're there every move. They're there, and you really have to use your mind. And I think like in jujitsu, it's like you have to think ahead and think of the things that you're gonna do, just because the energy's not there. Like you want to do stuff and it's not working, bro. So it's like gradually working on your cardio, working on the endurance aspect of it, because it plays a huge role. Like last year, if I were to roll, maybe last in a round,
yeah,
and it's improved now, but there's still a long way to go. So I'm just starting to notice how important cardio plays a role. And like you said with the bench, bro, I think everybody would like to freaking bench 315. Start repping that thing like.
yeah,
"Ugh."
yeah,
But it's just it's tough to balance the weights in jujitsu. I've heard our professor AJ talk about it as well. It's like it doesn't really mix, and I'm just trying to think like, like I wonder how people like the professionals, how they just use jujitsu and not have that kind of that bulkiness like you were talking about. It's like I really don't see too many people who are just yoked the fuck up and just like ready to just strangle anybody. There's not a lot. There's like Nicky Rod, Gordon Ryan, a lot of guys on the juice, but it's like
Freaks of
it's
nature.
different. It's different. Like their genetics are different from most
Yeah.
people. And it's, if you're not buff and strong, you're just like you're thin, but your mind is like that's the thing that catapults them into be so successful. So it's like it's
Mm.
interesting. It's definitely
Yeah.
interesting.
Like Nicky Ryan, like or Nicky Rod. What I fucking get confused with these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
But yeah,
Nicky
Nicky
Rod.
Rod. Yeah, man, freaks of nature, man, where he's like, oh, my cardio, I'm good, and he's not tired, and this and
Oh, I think
that.
Nicky Rod's natty, by the way. I don't mean to say he wasn't natty, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, he's built like, like he's huge. It's like
Hmm.
freaks of nature, kind of like a LeBron James type of thing. Like you're like these guys are fucking jacked and they're athletic and they have a gas tank. It's just rare. You know what I mean?
Super
It's
rare.
really rare, and you don't see too many people like that. A lot more. I think that's what changed for me, as a white belt, like my mentality. I was benching really heavy, I
Hmm.
don't bench. I never made it 300, but I made it to like 365, 370, I believe. And like I would rep, 225, and I was getting hella strong, and it wasn't, to be honest with you, it wasn't really doing shit for me. I would just be tired. And I started talking to these guys, talking to AJ, Anthony, even like Steve, and they're like, "Oh man, you got to do more reps. You got to do more reps." So, and then
Right.
like fucking hurt my shoulder benching heavy. That was stupid. So my injury is not even, it's not even jujitsu, bro. It's
Jiu-jitsu
fucking,
related.
it's not. It's lifting. So yeah. So my whole, even when my shoulder,
No problem. I understand with the when it comes to working out, man, just like you stuck on that grind trying to work up, trying to program your way up to a certain weight. I remember I couldn't hit a plate for like a year, bro. I was weak, super weak, bro. No, I'm not even joking, bro. I'm like going to
what?
the gym. I was overweight. It took so long to get to a plate. And then I was all I was focused on. All I was
How
focused
long?
on is getting the two plates.
How long was that ago? Like when you started?
I started in 2018, dude. I couldn't do
You
any
started.
push-ups. Yeah, it was going with my friends. I was like insecure about my weight and how I saw myself. So I started grinding, bro, every day. Every day going to the gym, doing cardio, lifting weights, and slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly started improving, Started I was able to work up to like two plates 15. That's for like a
Nice.
so it's
That's fucking
it's
crazy.
different, dude. Seeing these guys like Nicky Rod, Gordon Ryan, it's hard to compare yourself to those guys just because they're freaks of nature. It's like comparing yourself to LeBron James when you're in third grade. It's like you aspire to be these people, but you have to know how you work and kind of how you operate. There's pros, there's things that you have that they don't have, and you have to
Yeah.
learn how to find those things.
Yeah. Also finding like, I always think about that. I'm like, damn, what is my weight? What should I weigh? You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah,
And I feel like I can go a little lighter, but then it's like I don't want to be less than 200 pounds, because like I feel like if I'm like 180, I feel like that's too light. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, man. Like I feel like anyone just throw me around and stuff. I was like, so I want a little bit of weight.
right.
So I'm thinking like 200, and then it's like, say I do go to 200, and you're like, damn, I still got fucking fat on me, or whatever. So it's like, damn, where should you, what's the ultimate, you know optimal weight for
To
me?
be. Hmm.
What is it? Where am I best at? Like what if I'm best at 185 and I'm just like crazy ass gas tank, and the division's easier, obviously, the strength is up there. So it's, have you ever thought about that? Like what is my optimal weight, or do you have a weight
I
that you want to
have.
be at? Or
Because I fluctuate a lot when it comes to keeping my calories the same, like deciding if I want to do a bulk or not. Sometimes I'm just
exactly.
eating just like
Yeah.
uh whatever, and I'm like, oh, it's just I'm just trying to get more calories, get calories in. And everybody's different. Everybody has a different like body type and how the food, the food intake and how your body processes it. I noticed that um, the more I cut down, the weaker I get. Because
Yep.
there's not much muscle. The lifts, they're weaker. But it just depends, I guess, on where you want to be. Like, say you want to bulk up 10 pounds, maybe if you want to go up 10 pounds to compete, and you bulk up 20 and then you cut down, and then you'll gain like maybe 1 or 2 pounds of actual like muscle and weight, because it's a long process of cutting and bulking. And I don't know how these wrestlers do it. The wrestlers just always cutting weight. They need energy, but they have like no fuel. Like it's like something that's like, man, even with these UFC fighters, man, like the weight divisions, and seeing these guys like Max Holloway was at what is he at 145 this last
Yeah.
fight, or
Hmm.
135 or
I think 140,
145? Yeah,
145,
and he's done. He's not competing at 145 anymore. He's just gonna fight at 155, and then those
155.
those 10 pounds make a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's a good question to try to figure yourself out. I don't think it's like a. I wish there was just an answer or some from freaking wizard were like, all right, you're perfect at 190. This is where you're gonna be at. But it's a little harder than that, you know. It's a
Mm,
little harder to figure that out, and kind of just cutting and bulking and seeing what works for you. And
yeah.
I'm still trying to figure that out as well, dude. Like I don't know if 208 or 222.
Who
It's
knows, right?
just
Yeah.
who knows, who knows. So trial and
I
error,
guess.
which works.
Yeah, I guess that's a question for a lot of these guys. Even the professionals are like, "Damn, what if I went up 10?" And then it's crazy because like I know some of these guys, like maybe they fight at a certain weight. Like for instance, like I was well under 222 last time. I was like 214. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Ah, you know,
Yeah.
when I weighed in, I was like, shit, like damn, should I have like bulked up more or what?" It's like hard to calculate it, dude. Last time I barely made it. This time I was well under. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, damn, that's a significant difference, from 222. So I was like, shit, should I have went to 208 or whatever? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, bro. It's like a whole lot of bro science and a whole
Yeah,
lot of
for sure.
thinking. And
That's
it's
a good way to explain it. It's like
yeah, it's like I felt better, but I was lighter than my opponents. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah,
I
man.
barely made weight.
Yeah, you barely made it, and you were starving
The dude
too
was
and
stronger than,
dehydrated.
yeah, I was starving and the dude was a lot stronger than me.
Strong.
A lot stronger. Yeah. And then he was shorter than me, but he was strong, dude. And I'm like, I don't know if the weight, played a role when it came to the comp, but man, maybe I'll try, 222 and see how it feels. I feel like
Hmm.
that's one way to find out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You can always try. There's no nothing wrong with trying that out.
No.
Like shit, you get to eat more. So
I
yeah,
enjoy it. I feel healthy right now. Like I feel like sometimes uh walking around, sometimes I feel like, oh man, I'm carrying a little bit more weight than I should. But right
mhm,
now, like hovering around 210, 212, feel like, I don't know, I feel healthy just because we're getting more rounds in. And
yeah,
I feel like that's played a role, like a huge role. It's like, damn, I'm really working consistently and starting to see some of the benefits of training so often. It's like there's so many cool things that jiu-jitsu can provide. It's like losing weight could be a big motivator for a lot of people just joining. People don't even care about competition or learning technique. It's like good
yeah. With,
exercise.
with the losing the weight, I mean, we train all the time, so we see each other all the time. So it's like hard for us to be like, damn man, you lost a lot of weight.
Mm.
Obviously, yeah, you do look slimmer, but I'm sure like some of your family members that don't always see you, or what have they noticed? Any of your friends like, hey
It's just
man,
my grandma's, bro.
your
She's like,
grandma?
hey man, are you eating? Like, yeah, are you eating food? Like, just making sure I'm good, because they say sometimes I've been losing some weight, and it's like, yeah, I've been trying to train, been trying to eat as well. I feel like my diet could be a lot better than it is right
Mm.
now, but just trying to stay consistent with training and eating. It's a task on its own
Yeah, but
that I have.
that's cool. You're working hard, man. So it's like you got to enjoy some food and stuff. It's not
Yeah.
like you're not really in a training camp per se. So
Uh
it's
huh.
not bad. Like this past weekend, dude, I my wife bought donuts and then we got like Korean barbecue and I was eating terrible, bro. But I was like,
That's how it
who cares,
spawns.
man? We working out, like,
Yeah. The
gotta like
sweets, man.
yeah, I can't pass on everything and just miss. They're all eating. My whole family's eating. I
Yeah.
can't be like, no, I'm fasting. So I'll just I eat with them. But then for like 6 weeks out or whatever, that's when I'm like, all right. But generally, I try to have some cheat days and, you know, it's all right. It's all right, man, to enjoy some food. It's the holidays too. You got to be careful, you know,
For real.
in Thanksgiving, all this shit,
Damn, son.
tamales, fucking birria
Yeah.
tacos. It's going to go crazy, bro. So just
Yeah.
work harder in the gym
Extra
and
extra rounds, yeah, just to
yeah.
balance it out. because
But at
I
work,
feel
yeah,
like
people are telling me, man, they're like, "Hey, you lost weight, man. You lost weight." And I don't
yeah,
even
bro.
think about it. I was like, "Oh
Yeah, bro.
shit." And I look at the old pictures and my face is
Yeah.
all big and shit. I was like, "Damn, it's crazy."
Yeah, it's like you don't even notice it. You see you at the gym consistently. It's like, and then you look back. It's like, damn, like we're different. We're different people from back then, bro. It's like, it's. I think it's super awesome to see, and we'd be able to record it or take photos. It's good to cherish the stuff like that, just because you don't really notice it during the present moment, but once you see all the work you put in, it's like, damn, son, like we actually been working. So it's like awesome to see.
Hell yeah. What were we
But
gonna
yeah,
say?
holidays. Oh, the sweet treats, bro. Like I can't. If I see something, bro, I'll be like, I'll have one, I'll have two, and it's like
Yeah,
sometimes it's like it's either being super disciplined or not, and it's kind
just
of
like
like it's a whole different battle within that the whole realm of food because I don't know, I love food. Food tastes good, feels like it brings people together, especially at Thanksgiving and all that stuff. Everybody just wants to be eating good food, but when it comes to competition and being disciplined, I think it also plays a good role because like in 2018 when I started hitting the gym, I'm like no fast food, no soda. I'm on this, and that's what I did. But like you said, with your family and they're eating food, it's like no. I was that guy who was just like no, like and I was kind of that annoying guy who's just like, oh, I'm focused on.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like there's a time and place for that. So I mean, it's just like figuring that out. Plus, I don't think
Yeah.
the grind ever stops. It's like can be consistent. You could have a few things here and there, but as long as you're balanced, I feel like you'll be all right.
Yeah, you can't pass on grandma's, cooking right there, and it's like, imagine that she worked on it all day, and you're like, "Nah, grandma,
No
I'm
protein in
intermittent
that.
fasting, right? No pro does that how much protein? You count the calories? Do you weigh out the butter? Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Fuck
yeah.
that.
No, my fitness
Trip
pal with Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you're just like, I'll just eat a piece of that turkey and some water.
Yeah,
Just be
the
all
protein
fucking
shake. Yeah,
just
dude, I
sitting there
was like,
all, like,
oops,
all
nah,
serious
I
watching
definitely enjoyed
football,
myself.
like
Maybe, oh yeah, everything.
yeah.
But the holidays are coming up. We're gonna start seeing more people at the gym. I think it's awesome to see kind of new faces and being able to train with other people. I've been listening to a lot of JRE podcasts, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on private lessons. And if you feel like, because that's how Joe Rogan started. He started with these private lessons through an
Oh,
instructor,
yeah.
and then Eddie Bravo was like, "Man, you got to train with other people. That's how you get better." And it's like, huh, like I never really thought about it that way. Like, do you think it's like necessary to be able to spar with everybody, or do you think having private lessons will enhance kind of the things that you want to work on?
I think, private lessons are cool if it's like a team of private lessons. Like, there's a, professor there, there's a coach, and maybe,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 other guys, and that I would
Mm-hmm.
consider that, like, alright, that's private, which is basically you have a team. You might have one guy, he's a wrestling guy. You have the other guy, he's like submission specialist. You have another guy
Mm-hmm.
that's just like maybe on your level or a little higher that will
Mm-hmm.
roll with you too. And,
Yeah,
and maybe a strength and conditioning guy that'll put that's fucking dope. I think that's cool. If it's just you and the professor, I'm just like, that's all right. But then it's like, I feel like you need like more of a little smaller team for privates. And I was talking to you about that. I was like, hey, would you do this? You interested in that? I was like, that'd be cool if like me, you, and maybe a couple other guys can do private. Maybe like me, you, and like I don't know, 2 other people, or
mm-hmm.
and just like really, maybe we put in some money on it, and like we can hone in on some things or something like that. I mean, I think that's dope. I mean, if it's just one on one, it's like I don't know. I feel like it's not enough. I feel like if that's all you're doing, like if you're just doing privates, you just see the professor and it's just you two. And it's like, yeah, you'll probably get good, but yeah, I think you need a mix. I think you need a mix, bro. Like
I
there's got
think
to be
that's a
more
good.
people there.
I think that's a good point. I used to do these like kind of like private lessons with basketball. I used to have a coach, and he'll invite like two or three guys, like
There you go.
different schools, different high schools, and I feel like that helped me improve so much just because other people were there. They were doing the same drill. I'm like, oh, this guy, he's draining the three. Oh, this guy has a tight handle. Oh, this guy has good defense. And it's like start picking up on those little things from even the people you're training with, and then that's how you learn and you start realizing. Because if you're by yourself, it's kind of like going on a run by yourself. It's like you're the coach, you're the one that's pushing you. Even though you have a professor there watching you, you're not really being pushed by external. motivators. You know, you're not having someone next to you doing more reps than you. You're not having someone who's like who needs help and you're able to help them. There's like little
Mhm.
things that are there, and I think that's a good point that you said that have to go with as a group, because that's something I noticed when I was playing basketball that helped me a lot to see that there's more than what I'm doing. There's like blockages there, and just like being able to have someone unblock those things, and then being able to help everybody out. It's like, yeah, it's
Mhm.
big. So that's a good
Yeah,
thing.
and then as long as you get some time individually too with the coach or professor,
Hmm.
where
Yeah.
like you have like say you have like shouldn't have like a whole list of things. I think you can only focus on so many things in a class, maybe 2 or
Right.
3 things. Be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
can you show me the single leg takedown?
Yeah.
Imma do it to this guy. Tell me what I'm doing wrong." And then, like,
Hmm.
the other 3 guys, they'll have their 3 things and, like, you have an idea and you get to choose what you wanna work on. I don't like when it's like they choose what you're gonna do. Like, if you ha I haven't really had a trainer, but I
Hmm.
remember, like, they gave me a free training at the gym, and
Mm.
this guy was like I was like, "No, show me how to do this bench and this and that," because I was new getting into it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, we're gonna do this, this, and that. You have to come back next time, and then it's gonna be $80." And I was just like, "What the fuck?
Damn,
Like, why
son.
don't you just?" Yeah, I was like, "Why don't you show me the things I want to do?"
Yeah.
And he was just trying to milk everything out of me. So if you're paying like top dollar for these guys, like, hey, show me the fucking armbar escape. Like you gotta unlock fucking, you gotta beat Sub Zero, you gotta beat Scorpion. Like, what the fuck? Like, just show me the damn move, man. I paid $100. You know, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, dog. Like, the
Yeah, no,
fuck?
for sure.
Yeah,
That makes sense
yeah,
because it's like if you're gonna be spending your hard-earned money, that's your time. You're basically selling your time to be able to. If you're gonna, learn everything,
yeah.
it's not really the energy is not directed in one spot that you feel like you need it the most. But sometimes
Yeah,
the professor's like, you got to work on this stuff. Like you can't work on anything else until you work on this,
true. You
which I
got a point.
understand.
You got a point.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but like I get what you mean. It's like you can't just okay, we're just doing this, and you're just like I don't even do that. Like why are we gonna.
I don't
So it's
fucking
like
do De La
like
Rivas. AJ, all right?
no,
Nah,
but
if you're listening,
no,
nah, I gotta learn it. I gotta learn it. Sorry.
yeah, it's like the stuff you just gotta have down. But with
Yeah,
privates and stuff, I think it's interesting. I'm not sure if a lot of schools offer private lessons or stuff like that, but
probably
I
not.
think it's definitely a good avenue for the teachers to make some coin on the side, because they
Yeah,
spend tons of time on the mat, they a bunch of experiences, competitions, and that stuff is like you can't teach that stuff. You can't just go on YouTube and have them teach you or have Chat GBT tell you these things. It's like you can learn from the source, and it's like that's awesome to be able to have that, and that's worth the money.
hell yeah.
So
But yeah, man, it's
you
getting
know,
close to
what
an
up? What?
hour. Right,
Yes, sir.
right. Start wrapping it up. Hey, but before we go, man, I just want to shout out freaking AJ Anthony over there, GB
Yes,
Tascadero.
sir.
Really appreciate you guys. It's dope that we have you guys around to get us to the next level. And hey, man, I wanted to set up some fights, some matches, man. My take on it, like AJ, want to see AJ go against
Okay.
Nikki Ryan, bro. I think this would be a pretty dope match, man. I mean, B teams had a little things to say about AJ, and it would be cool to see. I think it would be a good matchup. If that doesn't work, you got who else? Chad Mendez, right? Didn't Chad Mendez
Yeah, I called him out
called
after
him out?
ADXC,
Some
ADXC. Yeah.
ADXC5. And yeah, man, you got to get that cracking, man. I want to see what's up. You got, two wrestlers right there. American wrestling. It'll be interesting to see, man.
You want to see it in the
That's what I
pit?
like to see. Um, yeah, man. I don't know if Karate Combat's gonna set that up
Mm.
or I don't know. But then, Craig Jones was like said something about AJ saying, "Hey, we don't have a weight class for you." Blah blah blah. Who cares about weight classes, bro? AJ doesn't care about weight classes. He goes against anybody, man. You saw him in there with the Hulk and all that. And yeah, so yeah, set it up with Nicky Ryan. I don't know how he's doing, but that would be a cool matchup. I don't know. You
Definitely.
got any matchups for AJ? What do you think, man? Who would you like to
Um,
see? Our
I
professor.
really wish I would have saw that Gio Martinez with AJ. I know it was supposed to happen, didn't end up happening, but I think if that fight's still potential, it's a potential fight out there. I think it would be cool. It would just be cool to just see some good rivalry matches. Bring the best out of each other. I feel like it could be really good for the community as a whole. I think matches like that have a story and there's a lot of history behind it. I think that brings the best out of everybody.
Oh yeah,
So I
man.
like to see that.
And shout out to Anthony, man. This guy's killing it out there.
for
Got a
sure.
win at the last tournament, sick
That
armbar, and I
armbar was sick.
can't wait to see him progress. And I want to see him in karate combat, pit submission, AXDC 7, 8, 9, whatever. I want to see this guy out there. I know he has potential, man.
For
And
sure.
dude is like, I don't know, man. He's not scared of anyone. I show him like I want to put names out there, but he's like, yeah, send them to me. I'll go against him. I'll go. He's not scared. So not a whole lot of people like that, man. So it's gonna be dope. But
I think
yeah,
we need more
man.
people like that. Just like whatever matches, whatever's the most exciting, just be able to be down for whatever. And it's like, let's see it.
Let's make it happen, man. I mean, Abu Dhabi, man, they're trying to make all these matches happen. I don't see a whole lot of movement in the U.S. Um, Karate Combat though too. They're getting busy, and I think they're going. They're everywhere, man. I think they were going out to Thailand recently,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and pit submission. It's exciting, man. Oh, one other super event idea for I don't know whoever, man. Karate
Okay.
Combat, anybody,
Good.
CJI, Craig Jones. Set something up like a Gracie Baja team versus B team. They get their best five. Gracie
Yeah,
Baja gets their
quintet.
best five. Quintet style. I don't know who would want to set this up. Um, you can have other teams on it, but Gracie Baja versus the B team, man. I mean, there's a lot of chatter back and forth, a little bit of bad blood. A lot of people talk smack about Gracie Baja, but it'll be dope to get that team hooked up and yeah, man, just make these things happen. I don't know why it takes so
Quintet's so dope,
long,
dude.
and they need to just start doing these matches, man. They can have jiu-jitsu every week, and it's I don't know. Everybody are fighting over who should have it. I think it should just be on YouTube, get some sponsors, and let's go, man.
Let's
Let's build
roll.
it up. Let's keep it. Let's get it cracking. Um,
Yeah, it's a good
Grace
idea, man.
Gracie Baja needs to throw some events like that too. What are they waiting for? You know, why don't they have their own events and you know maybe they can throw an event like that and have other teams versus their team and broadcast it on their YouTube channel. Like why not? Like
Who
let's
doesn't
grow the
want to see
sport.
that?
They have content and stuff. That's cool, but I'm just saying
Hmm.
at a pro level, like you guys should
Yeah,
have your own.
just the best of the best, right? It's kind of like the
Yeah,
NFL. Like you got this team, that team,
hmm
and I think that would be awesome, dude. Hopefully
yeah,
that we could start seeing stuff like that in the future, different teams, and have some good production behind it too. Have
yeah,
interview these guys, talk about their story, like what's going on, why they started jujitsu. I feel like the story is really important, especially for
yeah,
each person, just because everybody has their own story, how they started jujitsu, how it's changed their lives, and why they want to, be the best. Everybody wants to be the best, but there only could be one, I guess, or one
yeah.
team.
And there's a lot of good guys at jujitsu out there,
Yeah.
range of belts. They're just not enough competitions that are broadcasted on big platforms, and I feel like this shit could be going on every week, and once or twice a year is not enough, and everyone's kind of got to like chill on their egos a bit because it doesn't matter if you lose, once. I mean, this could be a season. You can see this guy 4 times a year. These teams can clash multiple times a year, like in the NBA. It's just like
Yeah, you got
like
a Western
football.
Conference. Yeah, it's like
So
do something.
I hope they figure it out, bro. I mean,
Me too.
because it's taking too long and all these egos. A lot of people I know don't like each other, but a lot of people in the NBA don't like each other. A lot of people in the NFL don't like each other. They still go against each other,
Hmm.
and they're gonna get this money, get this bread, and shit. If I can be a part of it, if we can be part of it in any way,
Hmm.
if I can covering it, I'm down, bro.
Something. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Same. So hopefully we can see some of these matches, unfold. No, Mikey Musumeci left one championship. Um, I think it's good for the sport. Have Mikey back in the U.S. Who
yeah,
knows with CJI2, ADCC. We still have some big events, but I think something like that with quintet style matches, team based stuff, bro. Team sports are awesome, dude. You really have to gel as a unit. You have to strategize your plan and rely on others. And I feel like that brings the best out of everybody. And
oh yeah.
jujitsu is like a one-on-one sport, but once you incorporate that team aspect, it changes everything. And I think for
Strategy, a
the
lot of
better.
things in play, man. But
Yes, sir.
yeah, man, we gotta get ready to go train.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we'll wrap it up, man. You guys like, subscribe, leave a comment below, share it, do all that.
And comment down below any matches you would like to see in the future, like dream
Yeah.
matches, matchups that you would love to see that didn't happen, that potentially still can happen.
Oh yeah, one more thing, man. Shout out to Uriah Faber, dude. Commenting on the post that AJ did of our belt ceremony. You just see Uriah Faber, congrats.
I
Next,
saw that,
next
dude.
level,
Awesome.
whatever. That's fucking
Yeah.
dope, man. Fucking legend. But I see you got some stuff going on with robot. I thought that was a fake thing. Apparently it's a real thing. It's like a robot that you can like a robot dummy you can roll with and has lights on it when you choke it out and you can
Was
armbar it.
I saw that, or
You told me about it. It's
yeah,
like a
yeah, yeah.
robot. It's like a black
Right, right.
robot thing.
Yeah, I saw the guy demonstrating with the little light band.
Yeah.
Did Uriah Faber have to do it? I'm confused. Like,
He's all over that. On If
oh
you go to
really?
the Instagram, he's all over
Huh.
it. And then he just posted like he had several boxes of this robot like at his house, and he's like, I'm gonna build all these. So I don't know if
Interesting.
he's part owner, sponsored, but hey
Yeah.
AJ, man, if you're listening, you got to get one of those robots in the gym.
Just get a damn
Check it
robot.
out.
What
Come
if it
on,
just
bro.
starts trying to take you down randomly? You're changing a locker
Yeah,
room, just full picks you.
fucking. Starts playing Kanye West and just hip tosses you and shit. Fuck.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. But that's awesome. Shout out to everybody who tuned in to the post and commented, checked it out. It's awesome to see, and it's exciting, dude. Jiu-Jitsu is on the come up.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Anyway, bro, let's get to rolling.
Let's go. Thank you guys.
Peace.
Catch you next week. Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. All right.